Tonight, find out how you could ride in a B-17 bomber.
Plus, Trojans watching their weight. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for October 5th, 2012. I'm Bree Sanders.
And I'm Danielle Percival. Thank you for joining us this evening. Excessive weight gain is a global epidemic. A health and wellness workshop was held yesterday addressing this problem and how it affects not only personal health but also other aspects of life like career goals. Judson Garner has more.
Dr. Johnson says obesity is the #1 reason why young adults are turned away from police, firefighter, and military jobs.
They are physically unfit. They are unable to perform the duties of those types of jobs.
The heavy context of this workshop is built around a documentary series that addressed the sustainable problem Americans face with unnutritional eating habits.
HBO did this very well. It was released this year, 4 video series. All these videos can be watched on your own computer. You can download them, but we like meeting here together to discuss them as a panel.
Last night, Johnson addressed farmer subsidies. Farmers who grow certain versatile produce, such as corn, are granted money that ensures their success. Therefore, corn will never see dramatic price changes. But other crops do not receive this aid, and that only really hurts Americans' pockets, meaning staying healthy in America is more inconvenient and expensive.
We can use this cheap corn to feed cattle and beef, and so it's wonderful to have all this great food, but what we're missing are the fresh fruits and vegetables that are, because they're not receiving the farm subsidies, they're a little more expensive than this quote-unquote American diet that we are importing across the world.
Johnson says that students can demand healthy options simply by purchasing those options, making a nutritious diet a little less inconvenient.
We want our college campus student body and faculty and staff to be aware of this and hopefully give them the tools to address that on a personal level.
Judson Garner, Troy TrojanVision News.
This is the first of 4 workshops on obesity based around HBO's documentary Weight of the Nation. The next workshop will be on October 18th.
The Malone Gallery of Fine Arts on Troy's campus offers students the opportunity to be able to view art without traveling to a big city. Bailey Majors gives us a look at the latest artwork.
Troy University's Malone Gallery has opened a new exhibit showcasing a series of paintings entitled Alchemical Abstractions by painter Paul Jeans.
Paul is an extremely talented painter. These are obviously very abstract or non-objective works.
Skaggs says that Jeans' work is different from other exhibits that have been in the gallery.
They're very action-oriented with a lot of activity. They have a look and feel, a very slick, glossy finish, and it's just how he's dragging or manipulating the surface of the canvas.
Jeans' work is process-based and paints in layers, and Skaggs says this technique is different from what is taught in the Troy University Art Department.
Bringing a different approach to our students so that they have another idea, another reference point to look up and to be familiar with as far as how art is made and how it's put together.
Skaggs says he hopes students will enjoy the alchemical abstractions paintings and take a closer look at the canvases.
My hope is that they stand back and that they look at it as a whole, but that they also get very close and look at the layers of paint, the texture, really the beauty of it.
Troy TrojanVision News.
The Alchemical Abstractions exhibit will run through October 26th. Artist Paul Jeans will be on campus for the 25th for a guest lecture at 5 p.m.
There's a chance for people to experience a World War II bomber this weekend in the Wiregrass. The B-17 aluminum overcast will make its home in Dothan for the next few days. The Flying Fortress was restored by the Experimental Aircraft Association and is traveling around the country. Ground tours of the plane are available, and there is even an opportunity to catch a ride on the historic bomber. The EAA says the ability to experience a plane like this up close can be a special moment for some.
it's really a traveling museum, if you will. And the neat thing about this is the connection that a lot of family members make with the airplane. An ancestor, or grandfather, uncle, or whatever. Maybe in some cases their aunt built the plane, because a lot of these were built with women, you know. And so it's really all about a connection to World War II, and sometimes it's pretty emotional.
The B-17 will be at the Dothan Regional Airport Saturday and Sunday. Ground tours will be from 2 to 5 and are $10 per person or $20 for a family, and free to active or retired military. Flights on the plane are available as well at a cost of $475 per person. For information on flights, you can visit their website at b17.org.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Tuscaloosa, authorities say 3 buildings at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center have been reopened after a bomb squad removed a suspicious package. The office buildings were evacuated after a man dropped off a pipe-shaped package at the front desk around 2:20 yesterday afternoon. People were not allowed back inside about 2 hours later.
And in Montgomery, teachers who have worked in 3 of Montgomery's public high schools say they witnessed or participated in improper grade changing for hundreds of failing students in the last 2 years. Montgomery Public Schools Superintendent Barbara Thompson called the alleged grade changing rumors on Wednesday.
And in Athens, agriculture experts predict a bountiful year for northern Alabama's cotton crop. Reports indicate heavy rain this week forced some farmers to delay harvesting another week or two. However, planners say the fall rain has been welcome after a scorching summer that featured consistent heat and little rain.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan soccer team had another home match today and hope to end a 5-game losing streak. Justin McNelly will have that story and more after the break.
But first, Election Day is still weeks away, but early voting is underway. We'll have that story and more after the break.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
I've been taking classes at Troy Online for years. The staff and the professors, they care about developing me, not just academically, but in my future career. I feel that Troy is preparing me for my next mission.
On campus or online, Troy offers you an extraordinary education that can take you anywhere you want to go. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
I'm John Phillips. I'm an active duty soldier attending school full-time, and I choose Troy.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we go to Bree Sanders at the Global News Desk. Bree?
Thanks, Danielle. Early voting began this week in Ohio, and with a little more than a month to go before Election Day, both candidates are fighting hard to win the battleground state. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Cleveland, Ohio.
President Obama is urging voters to get to the polls early in Ohio.
You can vote right now because, Ohio, you've got a big choice to make.
He and Mitt Romney have been fighting it out in the battleground state in rallies and on the airwaves.
The question Ohio families are asking is who can bring back the jobs?
The campaigns have spent a combined $75 million on advertising in a state both sides see as must win. With early voting already underway in Ohio, the candidates know the window to persuade the undecided is closing.
The Ohio Board of Elections says this location in Cleveland is averaging 1,000 voters a day. Ohio residents have until November 2nd to cast their early ballot.
I'm on my way through town, so I can stop and I can vote. It may not be convenient on November 6th.
Small business owner Tom Berry made up his mind for President Obama after watching the first debate. Cosmin Bota recently moved to Ohio with his family from Florida. He cast his vote early for Romney.
It's important to just get out there. Hopefully it encourages people. And after the debate, it really just empowered my vote even more.
Both candidates will be making their closing arguments in Ohio over the next month. to sway voters who haven't already cast their ballots. Danielle Nottingham at CBS News, Cleveland, Ohio.
For the first time in nearly 4 years, the unemployment rate has dipped below 8%. That's good news for President Obama. No president has been reelected with unemployment rates above 8% since the Great Depression. But Republican challenger Mitt Romney says the numbers aren't good enough. Tara Mergener has more from the White House.
John Keenan is repairing bikes these days. Not in Montana, where he owns a farm with his wife, but in Springfield, Virginia.
I moved back in with my parents, the same house I grew up in.
Keenan left behind breathtaking vistas and his cashmere sheep because jobs are more plentiful on the East Coast.
The scenery is awesome. Everybody wants to move there, but you can't eat the scenery.
The latest job numbers suggest more of the same for people like Keenan. 114,000 jobs were added last month, less than in August or July. But the all-important employment rate fell to 7.8%, the lowest since President Obama took office.
Officials at the White House say there is still more work to be done on the jobs front, but insist the latest report is proof the economy is headed in the right direction.
Today's news certainly is not an excuse to try to talk down the economy to score a few political points. It's a reminder that this country has come too far to turn back now.
Campaigning in Virginia, GOP White House hopeful Mitt Romney dismissed the unemployment rate falling below 8%.
The reason it's come down this year is primarily due to the fact that more and more people have just stopped looking for work.
Economists say unemployment fell in part because more people have landed part-time work. That's what Keenan's done.
If I can get 6 months ahead on everything, pay off some credit cards, pay off a car, then I can go back to Montana.
There is one more jobs report before Election Day. Tara Mergener for CBS News, the White House.
The meningitis outbreak has spread and the cases are increasingly growing. Vigad Shaban is in Los Angeles, where he shares with us some more information about the widespread concern.
Family, friends, and loved ones are remembering the latest victim of the meningitis outbreak. 56-year-old Diana Reed of Brentwood, Tennessee, died after undergoing steroid injections for neck pain at this hospital center. 18 people with confirmed cases of fungal meningitis are being treated here.
The whole thing is in a state of flux, and we're going day by day.
The Centers for Disease Control says so far 35 people in 6 states, Tennessee, Virginia, Maryland, Florida, North Carolina, and Indiana, have contracted fungal meningitis. 5 people have died. The number of cases is expected to grow.
We see the symptoms beginning somewhere between 1 to 4 weeks after the injection occurred. Of course, the investigation is still ongoing and those numbers could change.
Meningitis is an inflammation of the lining of the brain and spinal cord. The fungal type is not contagious. Symptoms can include severe headache, nausea, dizziness, and fever.
We think that early treatment can definitely help, and that's why patients who might have been exposed should be vigilant for the onset of these symptoms.
The New England Compounding Center supplied the steroids and has recalled nearly 18,000 vials. But the Food and Drug Administration is telling doctors not to use any products from the center. Companies like the one in Massachusetts custom mix medicines that aren't always available, and the products are not subject to FDA approval. Health officials say it's still unclear how many patients got the contaminated injections, and whether everyone who got them will get sick. Vigad Shaban, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, like how gas prices have skyrocketed to $6 per gallon in California, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Danielle.
Thanks, Bree. And now Justin McNally joins us for a look at sports. Well, Justin, it's a little bit of an unusual weekend in Trojan sports. Not a football game on the schedule.
That's right, but there are other Trojan athletics going on this weekend. The volleyball team is on their way to Arkansas right now to take on Arkansas State. Speaking of Arkansas State, that's who the soccer team just got done playing. But even though there's not a football game this week, still the lead story. So I'll get to that more here in sports. Trojan football team will get this weekend off from a game to prepare for their midweek game next week against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. With only one loss in midweek games since joining the Sun Belt, the Trojans are hoping to carry that success into their Thursday night game. The Trojans, however, will not get to just sit around and relax this weekend because they will still be preparing for their upcoming matchup. The head coach, Larry Blakeney, says that it does not matter when the game is, the Trojans are going to be ready to play.
think where we are right now is good. You know, I've never been worried about that part of the schedule. You play on Tuesday night, don't bother me. Play on Thursday night, don't bother me. Because I know that if we do it right, we're going to be able to get rested, get some work if we need it, and whatever we need, we can pattern the schedule around an open date or a midweek game that is positive for. We always look at it positively, and I think it has most of the time been positive for our team.
As mentioned earlier, the Trojans will be off this weekend in order to prepare for their Thursday night matchup with the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers next week. That game is set for 6:30 p.m. at Veterans Memorial Stadium. And the Trojan volleyball team has come a long way from their 0-3 start. Now sitting at 12-7, they will try to notch another accomplishment under their belt. The Trojans will try to win their third straight game over a team they have never beaten before as they take on Arkansas State today. The Trojans are coming off their first-time wins over Middle Tennessee State and Florida International, followed up by a win against Florida Atlantic. But Sonny Kirkpatrick knows this weekend will not be an easy one.
If we don't play well at all, it'll be over in a hurry. We're not driving 8 to 10 hours to go and not play well. So we're going to have to play well to split it at best. We're going to have to play exceptional to try to get 2.
Trojans and the Red Wolves will meet on the court tonight in Jonesboro. The Red Wolves are 2-2 in conference play and 12-8 overall. The Trojans will then follow that up with a match against the other Trojans of the Sun Belt, Arkansas Little Rock, Saturday at 3 p.m. And home has not really been too kind to the Trojan soccer team this year. But let's face it, as of lately, no place has been too kind to the Trojans. But they can turn things around with a win today against Arkansas State. However, things are not looking well for the Trojans today. The Trojans were down 2-0 to the Red Wolves at halftime. The Trojans managed 0 shots on goal for the first half. If things were to hold up, that would be the 6th straight game the Trojans have managed to score less than 2 goals going into the match. Head coach Chris Bentley knew the tough test that his team had to face.
Arkansas State on Friday is a team that is always athletic. It's always going to compete for 90 minutes. And that's really the biggest challenge we have with them. If we can go out and compete and stay at their level in competition, I think we play a better brand of soccer and we'll be able to do a lot of nice things against them.
Right before we went on air, we learned the Trojans did indeed fall 2-1 to the Red Wolves, making it their 6th straight loss in a row. The Trojans will take on the Arkansas Little Rock Trojans this Sunday at 3 p.m. After a 3-week break, the Trojan cross-country teams will be back in action today at the FSU Invitational in Tallahassee. The men's team is hoping to gain more momentum as they placed 3rd in last month's Azalea City Classic in Mobile. Enoch Karui led the men's team with a 6th-place finish in Mobile, while Julia Ostendorf led the women's side by finishing 15th. So as you can see, Danielle and Bree, it was another tough game out there for the Trojan soccer team. 6 in a row, nothing to be proud of. Trojan volleyball team going for their 4th straight win. And on a side note, we saw women's basketball earlier today. They were the first team to actually get to practice in the new Trojan Arena today. So that's a big accomplishment for them.
That's right. They began the practice schedule, I believe it was on Wednesday, and now getting to go into that new facility, very exciting time.
That's right. Can't wait for basketball season.
That's right. Best of luck to all the Trojans in action this weekend.
Got that right.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Coming up on TrojanVision Nightly News, Aaron Taylor gets to know the new women's basketball head coach in today's edition of Trojan Talk.
Wes, it's been a pleasant end to the week, but what can we expect this weekend, Jamarlo?
Well, Danielle, hopefully for the weekend we will continue to see these comfortable temperatures, but I'll have the answer and more coming up next in weather.
We all share a common journey. We wanted to serve our country, stand for something bigger than ourselves, and protect the things we love. Although we were ready to face any mission, help those in need, and make a difference, for some of us, coming home was more of a challenge than we expected. In the service, we had each other's backs. But as veterans, it can sometimes feel like we're all alone, even when surrounded by our loved ones.
At the Veterans Crisis Line, we understand what you're going through, and we can help. It's your call.
from the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University. You're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Jamarlo Phillips joins us for a look at weather.
So, Jamarlo, we have been experiencing these picture-perfect conditions all week long. I think the question on everyone's mind is, what can we expect for the weekend?
Well, Bree, the projection for the weekend is that we will still be seeing these cooler and nice temperatures that we've been experiencing this week. But I'll get into more of that right now. But first, let's take a look at our current conditions. Our campus snapshot, excuse me. Taking a look at Bill Gray's quad. Very few clouds in the sky right now. Very beautiful day on the campus of Troy University. Going into our current conditions, skies are clear right now. Temperature coming in at 83 degrees. Dew point at 65. Humidity at 55%. Barometer reading 30.03 inches and going steady, with our winds coming from the east about 5 miles per hour. Taking a look at today's stats, we were able to see a high today of 83 degrees, a low of 59. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see any rain today. Sun rose this morning at 6:40 a.m. and it's supposed to set this evening around 6:23 p.m. Now taking a look at temperatures from around the state, as we can see, most of the temperatures around Alabama right now are in the mid-80s with mostly cloudy skies. Mobile sitting at 86 degrees. We can see that Huntsville sitting at 80 degrees. Birmingham 81. Montgomery 85 with partly cloudy skies. Troy at 83. Phoenix City 86. And Dothan sitting at 78 degrees. Taking a look at our current temperatures across the southeast, we can see that our areas still are experiencing those low 80 to mid 80 degree temperatures. But as we take a look at towards the west, we can see that in the Oklahoma City area, they're experiencing the temperatures up to 57. And as we move southward down to the Texas area, we can see that Dallas, Fort Worth is experiencing 82, with Corpus Christi at 91 degrees, being the highest in the southeast right now. Taking a look at current temperatures across the United States, as we can see, areas north of Alabama right now are experiencing temperatures in 49 to low 40s. And as we take a look towards the west, temperatures in the high 30s and low 40s as well. They're experiencing very cool temperatures in the north right now. Taking a look at our current surface map, we can see that we have a low pressure system sitting right above Texas and Louisiana, to where we may be experiencing those cooler temperatures in the next few days, or maybe even in the next 48 hours. Going into a closer look at our current surface map in our area, we can see that, again, this low pressure system right here, along with this cold front, will be moving into our area maybe the next, like I said, 48 hours, and we'll be experiencing those cooler temperatures more at night. Taking a look at our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours. For the next 48 hours, we may be experiencing a few light showers, but that's not too accurate. Going into our thunderstorm forecast for tonight, we can see that we will not be experiencing any severe thunderstorms for tonight, or any thunderstorms at all. Going into our Saturday's forecast, we can see that our area will remain clear for Saturday. Going into Sunday, our area will remain clear as well. Going into Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, we will not be experiencing any type of severe thunderstorms or any showers on Monday or Tuesday. But as we take a look at tonight's forecast, we'll be experiencing partly cloudy skies tonight, with winds light and variable coming from the northeast at about 3 miles per hour, with a low of 57 degrees. Going into tomorrow's forecast, we'll be seeing mostly sunny skies tomorrow, light and variable winds coming from the northeast at about 5 miles per hour, with a high of 84 degrees. Going into our 4-day forecast, taking a look at Saturday, we will be seeing mostly sunny skies with a high of 84 and a low of 57 degrees. Going into Sunday, we'll see partly cloudy skies with a high of 75 and a low of 49. Those cooler temperatures are going to remain at night. Going into Monday, a high of 77, mostly partly cloudy skies, and Tuesday, sunny skies with a high of 79 degrees. So, Bree, Danielle, for the weekend, we will be experiencing a nice weekend, except for those chances of light showers that we may be experiencing in the next 12 or 48 hours.
Okay, thank you so much, Jamarlo.
Thank you.
Jamarlo.